Officials in Mozambique say they're anticipating an increase in crime in the next 48 hours following a deadly prison riot and escape in the country's capital, Maputo, that left 33 people dead and 15 others injured. According to the country's police general commander, Bernardino Rafael, about 1,500 inmates escaped from a maximum security prison. Authorities have since recaptured 150 prisoners. Other incidents of attempted jailbreaks have been reported in two different prisons. Well, to give us a sense of how regional tourism has been impacted by the unrest in Mozambique, I'm joined by Oupa Pilane. He's from the Southern African Tourism Services Association, also known as SABC. Thanks very much for joining us, Ndate Oupa. So at this time of the year, the region tends to enjoy robust tourism levels, with some South Africans, among others, choosing to visit Mozambique. What do we know about how tourism has been affected in that country?
We are quite concerned with what is happening in Mozambique. And there is no doubt that as much as we don't have the official figures right now, but definitely tourism numbers are going to be affected, especially in Mozambique, because one of the biggest source markets of Mozambique are South Africans. They make up to about 800,000 visitors per annum. Those are South Africans visiting Mozambique. And with this spate of violence, definitely, we are going to be affected also as a country, because also if you look at Mpumalanga, a million visitors are coming from Mozambique, coming into South Africa. So Mozambique is one of the top 10 African source markets. So this violence will definitely impact on the tourism numbers in this festive season.
Yeah. As a result of the cancellations to Mozambique and even the aviation sector being disrupted, do you think unwittingly South Africa may actually gain as well in terms of higher tourism numbers, with people deciding to perhaps go to Mpumalanga instead?
Look, I think the country in general, especially we're looking at areas like KZN. Durban was largely affected by tourism numbers because many South Africans had actually switched from Durban to Maputo. And of course, whilst we are not quite pleased with the situation, because for us as SABC, regional tourism is key. Definitely, South Africa is going to benefit because many tourists decided then to go to their traditional areas like Durban, Cape Town, and all other coastal areas.
So once the dust has settled and the issues have been resolved in Mozambique, how long do you think it will take for the tourism sector there to normalize? Because people do tend to prefer destinations that they perceive to be reasonably, good in terms of peace and security and stability. If there's still that feeling there, that people may decide not to go there.
Look, I think the tourism sector is a resilient industry, and we have seen that. We just came back from COVID, a devastating COVID, and we've recovered. And we're quite certain that working together with the Mozambican government, especially NAPTUR, which is their tourism marketing association, that side, we will definitely be able to stabilize the tourism sector as soon as the violence subsides. And we are really hoping that the authorities will come together to really put the interest of the country before any other personal interest, because the economy of Mozambique is going to be affected, and it's going to be affected very, very badly. So as SABC, we really want to see stability, but we are quite positive that we are working in a sector that will bounce back in no time.
We hope so. And then lastly, just your broad assessment of tourism numbers and tourism levels in South Africa. You referred to COVID. We know it was a bad time. It took some time for the sector to recover. How do you see things looking for this year, given what's happened in the past? And are you hopeful going forward as well?
We are quite excited. For us, 2024 has been a mixed bag. But we are quite excited, and looking at the recoveries pre-2019, we are therefore quite positive that we are going to make very, very good numbers. Last year, we received about 8 million international visitors, and we are hoping to see that number going up to about 9 million this year. And yeah, working very, very hard with all other stakeholders, both in private sector and government, we are looking at wanting to really achieve our pre-COVID numbers of 10.5 million. So we're hopeful that we may get to those levels before the end of the festive seasons.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Dr. Oupa, for your time. That was Oupa Pilane. He's from the Southern African Tourism Services Association.